Hi children, today we are going to start our history chapter, third chapter, the Sultans of Delhi. This chapter we will study about the important Delhi Sultanate. Muhammad Ghori, the ruler of Ghor kingdom, he wanted to extend his territory into North India. For conquering North India, he conflicted with Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, the ruler of Chauhan dynasty, he conflicted with Prithviraj Chauhan. In 1191, Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Ghori in the Battle of Tarain. This battle is known as Battle of Tarain. So what I told children, for conquering North India, he conflicted with Prithviraj Chauhan, and in 1191, the year you have to remember 1191, Prithviraj Chauhan, he defeated Muhammad Ghori in the first battle of Tarain. Okay. After that, in 1192, again the second battle of Tarain, Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori fought each other. In that battle, Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. So what first ma'am told, in the first battle of Tarain, Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Muhammad Ghori. After 1 year later, 1192, Prithviraj Chauhan defeated by Muhammad Ghori. Okay, so that battle is known as the second battle of Tarain. So in the second battle of Tarain, I told you Ghori defeated, Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan, and it led to the foundation of Delhi Sultanate, or it led to the foundation of Islamic rule in India. So question will come, which rule or which battle that led to the foundation of Islamic rule in India? That is second battle of Tarain. Who fought second battle? Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. In the second battle of Tarain, who won? Muhammad Ghori. Okay, so in that battle, the second battle of Tarain, that led to the foundation of Islamic rule in India. Okay, so the Islamic rule or the Delhi Sultan's rule, it starts from 1206 to 1526. This period is known as Sultanate period. So 1206 to 1526. This period is known as Sultanate period, or this period Delhi Sultan's period or Sultanate period. In between this period, we can see 5 powerful dynasties ruled Delhi. Okay, which all are the 5? Now we will look which all are the 5 important powerful dynasties ruled Delhi during this time. Okay, so first one is slave dynasty, Khalji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodhis. Okay, so these are the 5 powerful dynasties ruled North India. So first one, slave dynasty. Slave dynasty ruled in between 1206 to 1290. Second one, Khalji dynasty, 1290 to 1320. Third one, Tughlaq dynasty ruled from 1320 to 1414. Then Sayyid dynasty ruled from 1414 to 1451. Last one, Lodhi dynasty, 1451 to 1526. So these are the 5 powerful dynasties ruled North India. Okay, so these all dynasties are known as Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so first one, slave dynasty, Khalji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodhi dynasty. Okay, so these are the important dynasties. And this time we can see the combination of Hindus and Muslim culture. This time we can see the combination of Hindus and Muslim culture, and it led to the emergence of a composite culture. The mixture of Hindu and Muslim culture, it led to the composition of a new culture, and it reflected in every aspect of life, language, art, architecture, food, dress, etc. So during this time, if you are checking the art, architecture, all this sphere, it reflected. Okay, I think you understood. So we will study all the dynasties ruled North India or Delhi one by one. First we will start with the slave dynasty. So slave dynasty ruled between 1206 to 1290. 1206 to 1290, slave dynasty ruled Delhi. Okay, so I told you Muhammad Ghori, about Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori died in 1206. Okay, so before he dying, the most trusted slave Qutbuddin Aibak, he became the chief of his territories in India. Whatever the territories he conquered in India, he appointed Qutbuddin Aibak, okay, became as the chief of the territories he that conquered from India. So the founder of Mamluk dynasty or founder of slave dynasty, he is considered as the founder. So Qutbuddin Aibak is considered as the founder of Mamluk dynasty. Mamluk means slave. So Mamluk dynasty also known as slave dynasty. Okay, so who is considered as the founder of Mamluk dynasty? Mamluk, or Mamluk means slave. Okay, so Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak is considered as the founder of slave dynasty. So I told Mamluk dynasty is another name of slave dynasty. Okay, so Qutbuddin Aibak, he was one of the trusted, most trusted slave of Muhammad Ghori. So Muhammad Ghori died in 1206. Before dying, whatever territories he conquered in India, he appointed Qutbuddin Aibak as the chief. So Qutbuddin Aibak became the founder of Mamluk dynasty or slave dynasty. Okay, so Qutbuddin Aibak, he ruled from 1206 to 1210. Okay, and when he became the ruler, he realized that the new kingdom was vulnerable. The new kingdom was vulnerable both to internal and external threat, and it is facing internal and external threat. So he used matrimonial alliances to strengthen his position. So he used which method to strengthen his position? Matrimonial alliances. And he married the daughter of Yaldos, the governor of Iran. He married the daughter of Yaldos. Okay, Yaldos was the governor of Iran, and his daughter, his daughter married Iltutmish. Okay, so another person, an important personality in slave dynasty, Iltutmish. So his daughter married Iltutmish. Iltutmish was one of his trusted slave. So Iltutmish married Qutbuddin Aibak daughter. Okay, and after Qutbuddin Aibak, he succeeded. Iltutmish succeeded the throne. Iltutmish succeeded the throne after Qutbuddin Aibak. And Qutbuddin Aibak, he was one of the important ruler, and he was very known for his generosity and kind-heartedness. He was a kind-hearted person. So he is known as Lak Baksh. So which slave ruler is known as Lak Baksh? Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so Qutbuddin Aibak is known as Lak Baksh, meaning giver of lakhs. Giver of lakhs, another name of Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, Lak Baksh or giver of lakhs, that is another name of Qutbuddin Aibak. He built a mosque called Quwat-ul-Islam. He built a mosque in Delhi. The mosque name was Quwat-ul-Islam. This is the first mosque built in North India, and it is the first mosque built in the Islamic style. So who built Quwat-ul-Islam? Qutbuddin Aibak. Where it was built? It was built in Delhi. Another important monument or building that built by Qutbuddin Aibak, that is Arhai Dinka Jonpara. That built in Ajmer. That is another important building or another important monument built by Qutbuddin Aibak. And this Qutbuddin Aibak, he constructed Qutb Minar. The construction of Qutb Minar started by Qutbuddin Aibak, but he can't finish the work. The Qutb Minar was finished. The work of Qutb Minar finished by Iltutmish. Anyway, who started the work of Qutb Minar? Qutb Minar's work was started by Qutbuddin Aibak. But what happened before completing the work of Qutb Minar? What happened? He was died. He was died in 1210. He fell off a horse while playing the game polo. Okay, or playing polo. The game, one of the game, playing polo. While playing polo, what happened? He fell off from a horse and he was died. Anyway, this Qutbuddin Aibak, he started the work of Qutub Minar, and that work is completed by his son-in-law Iltutmish. After Qutbuddin Aibak, his son-in-law Iltutmish succeeded the throne. Okay, so his period starting from 1210 to 1236. Okay, his full name, Iltutmish full name was Shamsuddin Iltutmish. Shamsuddin Iltutmish. He was the son-in-law of Qutbuddin Aibak. I already told you. Anyway, he was regarded as the real founder of Delhi Sultanate. So, who is regarded as the real founder of Delhi Sultanate? Iltutmish. Iltutmish was regarded as the real founder of Delhi Sultanate, and he shifted his seat of governance from Lahore to Delhi. So, Qutbuddin's capital was Lahore. From Lahore, he shifted his governance to where? Delhi. Okay, so who shifted the capital Lahore to Delhi? Iltutmish. Okay, Iltutmish, he shifted his governance from Lahore to Delhi, and it led to, now you know which is the capital of India, Delhi. Okay, so this Delhi became the capital of Hindustan. Okay, he dealt many rebellion and succeeded and executed most of them. So ma'am told you Qutbuddin Aibak through matrimonial alliance he strengthened his position. At the same time, Iltutmish he dealt with many rebellions and he succeeded many rebels, and those rebels he succeeded, he was executed. He executed that rebels. He extended his control to Indus, then Multans and Sindh. He extended his control to Sindh, Multans and up to Indus, Sindh and Multan, and he towards eastern direction also he extended eastern side to mainly Bengal and Bihar. He extended his territory in eastern, mainly especially Bengal and Bihar, and he brought some Rajput territories also under his control, such as Bayana, Ajmer and Sambar. So these old Rajput territory also he made under his control, and he created a new ruling elite. They were known as Chalisa. Or Chalisa or Chal. Okay, Chalsa. Actually, this included 40 group. It is the group of 40. Okay, 40 members are there in this group. So that is called Chalisa or Chalsa. Okay, so he created a new elite group that is called Chalisa or Chalsa. It included 40 members. Anyway, his death created political instability in Delhi. The death of Iltutmish created political instability in Delhi. So after that, Iltutmish, before dying, Iltutmish nominated her daughter Razia Sultana as the next ruler. So Razia Sultana ruled from 1236 to 1240. So Iltutmish nominated her daughter Razia Sultana as the next ruler, but Iltutmish was succeeded by his son Ruknuddin Firoz. He was succeeded by his son Ruknuddin Firoz, but his incompetence and unpopularity gave Razia Sultana claim to throne. So this ruler, I told you, Ruknuddin Firoz, he was not a popular ruler, not a powerful ruler. So it gave Razia claim to throne. Razia Sultana became the ruler in between 1236 to 1240. Okay, so only in a short duration Sultana Razia ruled Delhi, but because she didn't get support from Turkish nobles, she was a lady, that is why the Turkish nobles, they didn't support. A ruler became a lady, they can't agree it, so they didn't get any support from Turkish nobles. Razia Sultana was a lady, they can't agree, a lady became the ruler, and she was a brave brave ruler comparing with any other brothers or any other son of Iltutmish. She was very brave, and the majority of the leaders opposed her, and she wore headdress of a men's, and she ruled during the time of administration. She wore the headdress of a man, and she ruled anyway. Her ruling was only she ruled for a short time, and she appointed a non-Turkish slave. Okay, she appointed a non-Turkish slave called Malik Yakut. Okay, Malik Yakut. This slave was appointed by her. It enraged the Turkish nobles and Chalisa. They conspired together, and they conspired and killed Razia Sultana in 1240. So after the death of Razia Sultana, Nasruddin Muhammad became the ruler of Delhi. In between 1246 to 1266, Delhi was ruled by Nasruddin Muhammad. Okay, he was just the figure of head king. Just he was a king only, but the real power was held by his chief minister Ghiyasuddin Balban. The real power was held by whom? His chief minister Ghiyasuddin Balban. After the death of Nasruddin Muhammad, Balban became the king. Ghiyasuddin Balban became the ruler of Delhi. Okay, so the next ruler was Ghiyasuddin Balban. He ruled from 1266 to 1287. That we will study in the next class. So children, today we studied about slave dynasty. We studied about which are the important rulers of slave dynasty. I think today's topic is clear to you. If you have any doubt, ask me. We will meet in the next class.